r/ask Reddit. What screams R lost the argument? I guess I'm just a terrible mother. Are you quoting my mom? Our mom, comrade. When they go completely off topic. Well, I don't like your username. Well, I don't like your mom. I do. So if you have a dog that is used to herd sheep, it's called a sheepdog. What do you call a dog who protects a cornfield? A corn dog? Get the duck outta here. When personal attacking starts. Enjoy your ban. Whatever, you're salty. Pretty much any reference to salt. Yes, if your only rebuttal is a yeah, well, you're a crybaby. You've already lost the argument. Hey, there's also circumstances that leave you no choice. I've had to argue with someone who never addressed my points and made snide sarcastic responses consistently. I just called him a ducking brat and gave up because he was goading me into roasting his ass. When they just start yelling shit like look at you, you know so much, smart ass beach, you know this is why your ex cheated, you're insufferable, and loudly banging things, stomping, etc. I think you should stay away from that person. Agreed. That's horrible. I have a right to my opinion. Of course you do. And usually at this point in the argument no one has said otherwise. But that doesn't mean your opinion is supported by evidence. Similarly, people tend to confuse being legally in the clear with being justified more broadly. I remember arguing with a friend that a particular movement was stupid, and he replied, well, the same right that allows you to criticize them allows them to do it. And it's like, yeah, of course they have the right to do it. That doesn't make it a smart thing to do. Not all opinions are created equally. The opinion of a surgeon about how to perform heart surgery is not the same as a layman's opinion about how to do heart surgery. More people need to understand this. But our democratic process has made these people think that because all votes are equal, in theory anyway, all arguments and opinions are equal as well, which is simply not true. Also, opinions are generally only valid when, you know, it's actually an opinion. I like strawberry more than grape is an opinion. I think 5 grams causes autism is not. Directing towards some other topic. When someone points out that you ate the last sausage and they know because there's half a sausage sticking out of your mouth, you've given up the game by saying, yeah, well, what about the time you ate all the corn chips? Separate argument, my dude. Ah yes, deflection. Was hoping someone would say this. I have a friend on Facebook whom I don't see eye to eye on regarding politics. He'll post a meme. I'll say something about it. And if he doesn't have a comeback for my comment, he'll deflect to yeah, but what about? I usually just respond with something like that's not what the meme is about. Please stay in the lane here. When the ad hominem attacks begin, nothing says I'm out of reasonable options better than attacking somebody for their profile picture, lol. Hippie. Green thing. When they start responding with who asked even though they started it. No one asked for your opinion. Good, but you're still gonna hear it. When they tell you to do your research. Yes, this is my pet peeve. I was talking to a friend a while back, and he was using some pretty extreme appeals to authority. He wanted me to accept everything he was claiming without proof. He said that I should trust him because he has spent 10 years researching this topic. I said, wow, 10 years of research. That's incredible. Can you send me your notes so I can review your sources? And of course he had no notes. Wait, you did 10 years of research and you didn't take a single note? He just kept saying do your own research, etc. Really what he meant was that he had listened to a bunch of hyper-biased news sources for years and never actually researched anything. I usually get into online arguments with people in video games where nobody knows what I look like IRL. Usually, they'll resort to calling a kid or a 9-year-old or whatever when I disagree with them. For such an unoriginal comeback, they've already lost. So your argument is so terrible a 9-year-old can see what's wrong with it. I'm all for being the better person and seeing the good in people. But if they're unwilling to listen, it's not worth the effort explaining. Quick edit to everyone who wants to steal this. Please do. I hope you get some good use out of it, but use it wisely. When you're told that's what they want you to believe. Bonus points for a not well defined they. The government. Whatever. I don't really care anyway. I sometimes throw that sentiment in even if I win the argument just to make it clear that it's just petty discussion. When the insults start appearing. Not really, that's just the sign of having a short fuse, or getting fed up with the person you're arguing with. That sounds like losing the argument, but with extra steps. I understand checking comment histories if you suspect a bad faith argument, but using what you find as ammunition for a cheap gotcha is just tragic. Do the research. Like, no, you're the one who made the argument. The burden of proof is on you. This tactic is almost always used by people who value their fifis over actual data. Anti-vaxxers, flat earthers, people who think getting a raise into another tax bracket would cause them to earn less money, etc. Agreed. I hate the argument style where people don't actually make an assertion, but just talk in vague circles about doing your own research or how stuff doesn't make sense. I have a friend who argues this way. He does shit like sending screen caps of data from the CDC website and saying things like, "Do you really think that adds up? Interesting. Seriously, man. What exactly are you alleging? And what's your evidence?" It's impossible to attack an argument that you never actually clearly make. Who screams while speaking? I see what you're saying, but personally I have a bad habit of doing this from the start, not necessarily if I start losing. Whatever Mayo. I know some people who literally can't be argued with as they just don't have common sense. If it's an argument that just doesn't matter and I don't feel like spending half an hour on the subject, then sure, agree to disagree. You might lose the argument, but that doesn't prove you wrong. And that goes for plenty of other comments here. Make a judgment for every situation. If it's not worth the time or verbal fight, just concede. That's what I usually do. Writing off reliable sources of information that they don't like. Moving the goalposts and whataboutisms when someone has to try and change what an argument is about to defend it, they more often than not have lost that argument. A refusal to answer direct questions that are clearly designed to demonstrate the flaw in your reasoning. The only reason you have to refuse to answer a question is if you know that the answer is going to lead you to admit that you're wrong. And if you can't admit that you're wrong, then you're no longer interested in meaningful discussion. When they start the enjoy your negative downvotes logic. Alternately, bring on the downvotes. Any one of the many logical fallacies, ad hom, argument from authority, argument from popular opinion, false dichotomies, and on and on. When people start correcting your grammar, ad hominems and strawman tactics, and slapping punching them with the words "now look what you made me do," that's a big loss. It also makes you an idiot emo. I can't even think about this right now. I'm still mad about the last time you did something wrong. Let's agree to disagree on something that isn't subjective. I think this is just an admission that they understand that neither side is convincing the other regardless of how right each side thinks they are, and that they would rather part ways amicably than be pissed off at each other. It's honestly a reasonable response to an opponent is so entrenched they won't listen rather than having lost the argument. Otherwise, winning an argument would simply be who can go the longest. Whenever you debate a leftist and they have to resort to calling you a racist as a last-ditch effort. When they start saying inaccurate stuff, you can't win against wrong. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.